Bible boxing.
Whatever. You do know there's like a Antichrist Bible as well, right? So you guys might be that. But December 10th is a big boxing day. We're just a little under a week away from that day. And we've already been talking about Anthony Joshua versus Eric Molina, but now we're about to talk about Terrence Crawford versus John Molina on HBO. Right now, it doesn't seem good for our friend, our cool people, John Molina. He's a 15-1 underdog as we speak at the moment. Odds obviously completely in favor of Terrence Crawford. Your guys' thoughts on the fight itself, and do the odds honestly reflect? Honestly,
I think that's that's much, 15-1. But Terrence Crawford is, I think Terrence Crawford is a real deal. I mean, I think he could switch left to right. Freddie was telling us after the Postal fight that even when he's moving, he hits you, he hits hard. He hits hard enough to where fighters don't want to make any mistakes in there. Terrence Crawford's a real deal. I mean, I love John Molina. I think 15-1's a little high, but I mean, do I feel like he should be the underdog? For sure. I think he would probably say that he would be the underdog. He's a real honest guy like that. You know what I mean?
If you're a firm believer in John Molina and you want to have one hell of Christmas, $100 on Molina.
Thank God I don't believe in Christmas. No, John Molina has minimum chance, and John Molina is a frank guy. He's gonna be a good person too. A lot of good people. Mike Tyson was a terrible person, but he's a hell of a fighter. If I'm a betting man, I'm not betting this fight, but betting man, I take Terrence Crawford. He looked sensational against the mandatory challenger, John Postal, who obliterated Lucas Matisse, and we saw it firsthand. We were all there. So based off of that fight, based off of John Molina's last 3 fights, Terrence Crawford is operating on 91 gasoline, and John Molina is on 87. I mean,
I keep rattling my brain, and I'm trying to see how can John pull off this upset. And all I can think is his power, but I think his power really reside at 135, not so much at 140. I think he was a power puncher at 135. At 140 pounds, the power is there, but it's not that type of punch that's going to put you to sleep. And Terrence Crawford, I think, has a pretty good chin. And as Steven just mentioned, he's the real deal, man. I don't like him as a person.
Terrence Crawford, he's a terrible interview.
Yeah, I don't like that person.
Yeah,
but like you said before, Mike Tyson was a very good person, but that doesn't matter in boxing. Skills pay the bills. So with that being said, I'm trying to figure out how in the world can John Molina pull off this upset, and I just don't see it.
So you got to do what the Celtics did to the Lakers. Cater their food. That's probably the only way where you get upset stomach. And, you know what I mean? For real, I remember that story as a kid. Like half the Lakers had upset stomachs against the Celtics in the finals. But will I be rooting for John Molina? Probably yes, because I'm closer to him than I am to Terrence Crawford, and you are your keeper's company. So I'll be rooting for him. I won't be live at the fight. We'll be at the Galen Center.
We'll be there.
You going to?
No, he ain't going to Nebraska.
No,
he ain't going to Nebraska.
I said we're all going to be there.
But bet in public, bet Terrence Crawford. He looked like a poor man's Floyd Mayweather's last fight against Postal, which will, all intents and purposes, let you believe that he's going to disarm John Molina.
Not even that poor. You know what I mean? Like middle class Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? Like middle class.
Middle class.
That's funny. Middle class Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, just the fight itself, I when it was first announced, I wasn't very keen on it. I wasn't very happy about it. I just didn't like the matchup.
I think that comes from knowing John, to be honest.
Because
as a boxing fan, prior to really knowing John, I was like, I get it. Like, you just fought the very best guy in your division in Victor Postal. You dominated him. You fought him for what seemed like short money. I mean, it was a pay-per-view event that HBO didn't really push, a lot. I'm sure you can make a whole lot on those numbers. So it's kind of like, well, he did what all boxing fans want. You take the risk, even if the reward's not that great. So when he got John Molina, I was like, well, I'm not good for John. I'm sure he's making a good amount of money from it as well.
Yes.
But But as a fan of watching Terrence Crawford, I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's you don't. It's like, all right, like a lower level fight, you still get, you know, one more fight before the end of the year. You stay sharp, all of that. Like, you know, good for you. Like,
and the ironic part about John Molina taking this fight, I would lean more towards taking John Molina against Danny Garcia than I would, even at a higher weight class.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I see the dichotomy, like, you're like, damn,
It's styles make
like,
fights.
Just
So
about to say that, styles make fights. So that's pretty ironic. So
I was really surprised when that matchup got put together.
To quote Robert Garcia, when I asked him if the best John Molina that just beat Ruslan Provodnikov could show up and Terrence Crawford could have his worst night ever, both Mikey and Robert said, "No, not even that John Molina could beat."
Damn.
But here's the funny part about that, because I recall when Ruslan and John was announced, they did an interview with Ricky Funes and Brandon Rios, and both of them were like, "Nah, there's no way he could beat Ruslan. There's no way this that." They ate their words on that one. I don't really see it on this one. John is like a real good friend of mine, has a nickname for me. You could look it up and everything. But it's like, I just don't see it. I know John has always said, you don't bet against Floyd Mayweather. And right now, Terrence Crawford is everybody's Floyd Mayweather. So how can I bet against him? How can I go against that? We've seen the man live fight. We know what he could do. John and big fights, and even he's admitted it himself in the Broner fight, he froze. He didn't know what to do then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, why did John take this fight? I know he wants to test himself. I know he wants to fight the best. I know he wants to just go out there and provide for his family. But like he said, he didn't like this fight when it first was announced. He just beat Ruslan Provodnikov. Why would you go up against someone like Terrence Crawford when you can get probably someone in that Ruslan level as well, and more than likely have the odds go in your favor to win?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm in John's position, like, you know, we all know fighters when fans say, "Oh, you're afraid of," like, fighters aren't afraid of anything.
Yeah.
But so I think that's kind of John's thing. Is like, well, I'm not afraid of this dude.
He isn't.
He's my size, you know, like
He's taller.
he's just a man. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's like, and really, John loses this fight. I mean, I guess maybe it depends. You know, if he loses this fight, how?
Yeah.
But I don't see it as a big L either. Like, I mean, you fought kind of what we all said, like the new generation Floyd Mayweather. Like, he's brilliant to watch. So you take a loss and you still. I mean, what other names are at 140 besides John Molina? Like, for other fighters in that weight class, like that.
The fighters' wives.
let me bring something else up when it comes to the discussion of this fight. This is the first top-ranked PBC fighter fight that is going on and that has happened without a purse bid. This is a negotiated fight. Do you think this opens up now to Top Rank? We've known Bob Arum has said that he wants to put on fights between Top Rank and PBC fighters. Do you think this opens up for other promoters? I know.
For sure.
I know Tom Loeffler, K2. You know, he got Dominic Wade and he got.
He fought two of them.
Yeah, exactly. He fought two of them already.
Yeah, right.
Two of out-hanging fighters. So obviously they're opening to do that. But will this open up if Golden Boy sees that this is actually a better opportunity, not only for every other promotion, but their promotion and their fighters? Do you think it opens up for promoters working with one another much better without the he say, she say, purse bids, and this person doesn't want to negotiate here, this person there, blah, blah, blah. Basically cutting down the crap that most of us boxing pundits and fans get and hear from what's going on in the world.
It has to, because at the end of the day, it's about money. It's about the bottom line. And as you see with Ward Kovalev, which by far was the best fight in 2 years. I mean, even if you include Mayweather Pacquiao, it was the best fight we saw in such a long time in terms of the best fighting the best. And you saw how dismal those numbers did. You saw how main events didn't have the money to run a PR campaign. You saw how Rock Nation didn't have the money to have a PR campaign, because if you think about it, if this was like the Zab Judah era, he would have been in Jay-Z's video, promoting the fight. I don't care how Christian Andre Ward is or Son of God. This is not a knock on him, but at the end of the day, you gotta, if you don't want to do it, you have to do it for the people who's representing you. So you never saw him stand beside Miguel Cotto. You never saw him stand beside Beyonce, Jay-Z. Never saw him at a Kanye West concert. You know, little subtle things like that that can get the pulse. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's about the money, and I think Bob Arum is smart enough. Stephen Espinoza and Al Heyman are smart enough to quote unquote get ahead of the curve per se, because
you got to add Richard Schaefer to that list because he's back now and he's first fight that he's promoting Morris Cuellar, second one Frampton Santa Cruz. So he's already putting on 2 great shows.
Well, he got a silver spoon, doesn't he?
Right. I was just saying, like, it's almost. I mean, obviously he hasn't even put on a show yet, but it's, you know, he has Cuellar Matas in the first card. You know, Santa Cruz, Frampton too, with that great undercard of Mikey and Dejan.
More than likely, he'll have Rios Ortiz.
Yeah, and he signed those
Valderas brothers.
kids.
Yeah,
The Valderas brothers. Like, talk about hitting the ground running, man. It's and as a boxing fan, you gotta love it. Like, it's we already know his work with Golden Boy, and now that he's kind of running the ship itself, I'm excited to see where that goes for sure. I mean, obviously you would assume that him and Golden Boy probably won't be doing business for a little while, if ever. But I mean, the fact that he's in the mix, and now, you know, he said he's open to working with them, but he obviously, you know, he's open to working with Top Rank and all these other. I mean, it's just I can't wait for him to really start getting like fighters under his belt and really start kind of getting going on his own.
No, like you said, that's the big question. Will Golden Boy want to work with Richard Schaefer? That's the big question. But I think he's a great addition to boxing. And
overall boxing.
Yeah, just having another promoter like him, because he's going to put together some really fantastic fights,
especially for us here in SoCal and Nevada, because he's going to put on those shows out there and here. So,
and he knows how to sell a fight.
Yes, he does.
He really, really does. When he gets on that podium, I mean, he sells it, and I'm like feeling it. So with that being said, I think he's a great addition to the boxing world.
Let's get back on topic and just obviously finish off your final thoughts on Molina versus Crawford. And are we just all in agreement that the likelihood is that Crawford will win this fight?
Yeah.
And I think the people watching are like,
Beyond John having another Mickey Bay moment, is there any shot that John has?
You know, I don't know if I'll be rooting for John Molina, and I'm not sure if he's going to watch this, and I'm not sure if I'll be rooting for him. I don't know fight night, because when I saw Terrence Crawford fight, I like fell in love with him again. When I interview him, I fall out of love.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Because I even asked him a question. I said, Terrence, don't you think you need to open up more? Because you're making it hard for me to do something great about you. You know, and he says, no, I'm just going to fight. And like, cars, but
you gotta
I love him in the ring, and I don't like him.
You got to remember, Max Kellerman gave him the opportunity to call out Manny Pacquiao in front of let's say 8,000 people in the arena, and he says, "I'll leave it up to my promoter. I'll leave it up to Bob." You have the opportunity right there. The opportunity is presented. Seize it at all costs.
What I will say this:
didn't take it.
The PBC fighters know that they're their own brand. They're their own LLC.
Yeah.
And because they're always calling out each other. So you know that, like, Sean Porter is adamantly trying to get Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman, and
the winner of that
fight, the loser of the fight, the winner of the fight. You know, you see Adrian Broner calling out people in that camp, you know, so he has to see it as like he's an entrepreneur. Yeah. He is in charge of his own business, you know, and until that happens, you know, I think his manager's Bud. Is his manager? I forget the manager's name.
Reed? No, I forget.
Kind of big guy a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? But
Cameron Duncan.
Cameron, isn't it?
Not the white dude. No,
it's not Cameron Duncan.
No, I'm talking about him. Yes, I'm talking about the guy with his friend that.
Oh, his trainer.
Yeah, what's the trainer's name?
I forget his trainer, but I know what you're talking about. His trainer.
They need to come up with a master plan.
Yeah. The trainer has a lot of.
No, but the trainer
has great charisma.
Yeah. You see what he did at the postal Crawford? He crossed out the postal. He has charisma with the game.
Yeah, but he's like Terrence Ross when he speaks.
Yeah, basically like Angel and Danny.
Yeah,
Angel Danny. Just let Angel talk.
But he talks.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's true.
And so.
All right, then, well, guys, you hear our recap on or our preview for Terrence Crawford versus John Molina on HBO. Catch that on December 10th. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. Just to let you guys know, we are giving a pair of tickets to Abner Mars versus Jesus Cuellar at the Galen Center here on December 10th. Follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel at The Fight Guys, all one word. Twitter and Instagram at The Fight Guys _. Leave comments on our videos, leave comments on our social media sites. Let us know that you're watching, and we will pick a winner out Thursday. We'll let you guys know who the winner is on that day. Until then, we'll see you guys at the fights. Do not stop that.
Oh, Saunders won.
Yeah, unanimous decision.
Congratulations. I want to touch on a somewhat controversial topic. Or are you cool with it?
What's that?
Not controversial itself, but I might go off on people.
What's that?
I want to talk about how fans claim they want the best fighting the best, and we've had 2 examples of it this year, but yet the pay-per-view numbers are terrible. So what do they want?
We want the best fighting the best with good undercards.
Now, see, that's a good answer, though.
You have tissue?
That's a good answer.
Oh, you want a napkin or tissue?
Anything.
You want to blow your nose?
Yeah.
It's tissue in the bathroom. In the offices, man.
That's a good answer. Let's get Cuellar Morales out the way. This one's going to be 5-6 minutes easily, because all we're going to do is just recap what's going to happen this week here. And then we're going to get into the fight, and that's it.
I have to talk Hawkins. Oh, we already did a Hawkins.
No, we talk Hawkins next week.
Okay.
You know when we talk Hawkins? We're going to do a recap of Morales Cuellar at the fight, after the fight's over.
Oh, that.
Then we'll tell them, tune into our fight week coverage of B-Hop, blah, blah, blah. Right. Yeah.
Hello?
I gotta get going because
Hey, how'd it go?
I have an issue.
Are you going home or what?
Well, I'm
You're
going.
gonna be able to take
Really?
it home?
No. I have to go.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I gotta
oh,
watch it.
you don't
Send me
know
the
what's
link so
going
I can
on.
watch it.
My aunt is in the hospital. And
Oh,
she's,
sorry. Good.
I was on hold
she's
forever,
very
and I'm
much
like,
let's just say there is no tomorrow. Yeah, there is no tomorrow, and I just got the text like her blood pressure's dropping.
Oh,
and
okay,
everything like
okay.
that. And I'm like,
You gotta go?
nah, I'll do the shows. My girl knew I was leaving here like around 4:30, and she knew that once that's
you
it.
just leaving now? Okay. I saw her talking, but where were you at? I'll call you back. Let me call you back in a bit. Let me finish doing these interviews real quick. Let me call you right back. Okay. All right. So you want to do Mares and then do that?
Yeah.
Let's do Mares. That way it'll be.
Mars is going to be quick because obviously all we're going to do is just, hey, you know what, this is what's happening fight week. We're doing the tickets, blah, blah, blah.
I dare you pick Cuellar over Mares.
I am not.
Huh?
I am not. I'm picking Mars.
You really are picking
I'm picking Mars.
We're still live, right?
Yeah, no. I'm picking Mars.
B-Boy Evans says hi. Who's that?
I have no idea who B-Boy Evans is, but what's up, man? We are good stuff.
that's,
Who's winning? Oh, Billy Joe won, guys.
No, B-Boy Evans, he's the little kid who always takes the pictures with the gloves.
Oh, all right, yeah. Oh, all right, cool. Tell me what's up. Oh, the one that's always everywhere?
Yeah,
all the fights and everything? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, that is his dad.
Oh, that's his dad?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
cool.
I believe
Let me
he always
tweet this out.
This was let me tweet this out.
All right, let's go.
Oh,
Ready?
Yeah, hold on. Let him tweet this out.
Oh, go
All
ahead.
right, here we go.
Oh, all right, let's
Why do you
start
say it like
it.
that? Sound like a queen.
Hey, Queen was one of the best groups ever. Leave me alone.
By far.
By far.
No,
Thank
We're
you.
not talking about music.
For sure. We came out to that in high school.
Oh, that's dope. Dude.
I have the greatest hits out.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
All right, so are we on for the next one?
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay. Fernando Pimentel for the Fight Guys here and BehindTheGloves.com. We will be previewing the week to come for us here in SoCal. Galen Center, December 10th. Big fight week for us. We have Abner Mars versus Jesus Cuellar, and we have J-Rock Williams versus Jamar Charlo, and the return of Josecito Lopez. Like I was saying earlier,
Mares' brother.
Speedy's on it. Speedy Morris is going to be on it, so it's going to be a good card.
Hugo Centino's on it too.
Centeno's on it?
Yeah. He's lost, so he's making a comeback.
Yeah, he lost to the Polish guy on the Fanfara Smith card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Centeno's always a good kid too. So we got a lot of names out here coming out to fights and everything. Obviously, you know, here in SoCal, we're gonna get the Chris Ariola's in the crowd. We're gonna get the Alfredo Angulo,
Especially with that camp.
We're gonna get all of them there. Some of the Robert Garcia kids, like Franco, Tanahara, more than likely gonna be here. Yeah, Mikey's obviously gonna be there.
Josecito's on the
undercard, like we said. So let's just talk about what's going on this week in SoCal. On Wednesday, us media members are gonna be invited to a trainer media roundtable with Freddie Roach, Robert Garcia, Ronnie Shields, I forget J-Rock's trainer. I believe it's Stephen Edwards, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
But
Breadman,
there we go. But we are going to be able to deal with them. We're going to be able to hear what's been going on in the camps and how they are preparing for the final days before the weigh-in and for the fights. Me, I'm excited for this one. Fred, let me get your thoughts on how excited you are about this fight coming to SoCal and how big it's going to be.
Big fight. Richard Schaefer is back in action. I'm just glad, we talked before we went live that we got fights in LA. We spent the last month in Vegas. Oh, man. And I'm just glad we got back-to-back fights here in LA. But Mares, you know what's a great thing about that is? It's a great card when you can flip the coin and be like, which one is the main event?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we were on the East Coast, obviously,
yeah,
J-Rock,
Texas, J-Rock, Charlo, but whenever you have a Mexican headline in a fight in LA,
yeah,
I mean,
it's gonna sell.
And then he's against Cuellar,
Argentina
fights the Argentinian. There is a good amount of Argentinians here, but he fights like old school Mexican style, like
no head movement,
right? Like just I want to take
very crude approach.
And I even told him that. I'm not sure if you guys are there for the interview. I said, nigga, you gotta move your head. You can't laugh too. Go too straight. You gotta move your head a little bit. You know what I mean? And I joke with him about that, because his English is not, so it's always the body languages with him. But I have him. Whew, I thought Abner shouldn't have took this fight. I mean, just being completely honest, I think Abner, a year off, maybe had eye surgery because the fight didn't happen.
Right.
It's
a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm glad Cuellar won't break away from those characteristics that you speak of, because that's what's going to make it a great fight.
Yeah.
I want to see that. I just get the feeling that Mares will be able to possibly, not out of boxing, but I think he might be able to out. He could possibly get the decision, but
one thing too we haven't really touched on yet is Mares is now trained by Robert Garcia, who obviously trained Cuellar before. And if you guys remember, that's Mares' first loss was against Johnny Gonzalez. And something similar. Was it Betty Stein, I think? Was it? I think
yeah.
And then Betty Stein started training Johnny Gonzalez, and then Johnny Gonzalez ended up, taking Mares out in the first round.
He's been with Gonzalez for years. That's why they all have the same style,
right?
Like Lopez and Lopez.
But it's all, it's like, but Betty Stein knows, Mares since he was a kid, all that.
Yeah,
so he knows his tendencies.
Robert Garcia, you guys were all there. I remember one time you and I went, that he not very keen on the idea of fighting Cuellar at the time when he was training with the guys that he used to work with. Robert had these guys that he had hired a while back, and he knew these guys would not put together a good game plan. So he just knew the fight would be easy. He says he's more excited now that he's with Freddie Roach. Now it makes it more of a fight. And coming from Robert telling me that, I was like, you would think the trainer would say, oh, I'm glad he's with some really shitty trainers. Now we're going to get an easy win. No, Robert. You got to remember, I'm a trainer, but now that he's going head to head with Freddie, it's going to be a much closer fight.
I thought the right flag at the first press conference. I thought that would have been. They did. We interviewed them. They're like, no,
it's, you know,
no, yes,
yeah.
I'm good with Mexicans. It's a China story, guys. If you guys remember that, but that would have been so much fun to have them talking shit and.
Yeah.
But it just like, but I thought
I
more
feel like
as
maybe they're tired of that. I think.
You're right.
I kind of get
It's
it
been
from
years.
them that they're just kind of like,
It's been
like,
years.
well, you know, and we're gonna keep seeing each other. You know what I mean? I just got that sense from
You're
it.
right.
That
That's
it was
fair.
just like,
That's fair.
The real question is, what happens to Morris if he does lose this fight? Depends how he loses.
He's in dire straits, you know. But the good thing about him is he can always go to Mexico and make money. He and his brother can go and get cards. I believe. I don't know. But I don't know what happens to him. That's why this is a summertime fight at StubHub. Cuellar Morris is a headliner at StubHub. You know what I mean?
And that would have been a classic.
But let's not take away from the Galen Center though, because there has been a fight at the Galen Center. It was
I
a
was
good
there.
one. It was Stavern versus Areola.
That was
The undercard was
he
good
was
as
doing a
well.
stanky leg.
Yes. And Morris was actually on the announce team for that fight, and he said he actually wanted to fight at the Galen Center because he saw the turnout and he felt the energy. So he's
that's
like,
a
all
great
right.
arena.
He was like, it's a really good arena because everything. It's pretty much
It's
like
two
the
levels.
StubHub.
It's 2 levels.
Even at second level, you're right above the ring, so there's not a bad seat there, just like StubHub. Basically, to me, the
StubHub's
Galen Center,
outside, though,
but the Galen Center to me is like an indoor StubHub.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Pretty much, yeah. Just more fights need to happen there to honestly get the reputation.
Oh, it will be
StubHub
because I
has.
know it's gonna be cheaper than Staples and now that MSG owns the Forum. So.
Yeah, no, but for real, more fights need to happen there because, like I said, it's gonna get a rep just like StubHub.
Mhm.
And we haven't even really brought up the undercard. That undercard is so good.
J-Rock
J-Rock
versus Charlo. You know,
I forgot that was an undercard. I thought that was the headliner.
Oh my god, that's just. And this is when I talked to Richard Schaefer about it. I was like, how did that happen? Like, because it was one of those fights where these two young lions. You would think. I thought this would happen in a year or two once they both kind of started headlining shows themselves, and then. This was almost like a pay-per-view match. I thought in my mind when I first started thinking about it coming up. And the fact that it's on the undercard of this fight, like, I can't wait for those two guys to get there. I couldn't even. I guess I'm leaning a little more towards J-Rock in that. I feel like he's had a harder time and he fights like that. You know what I mean? I feel like he
J-Rock
fights like.
reminds me of, and I'm not saying he's the complete package of this fighter we
Jermaine
mentioned, but kind of
that's my boy. That's my boy. Don't talk
no,
about
he
Jermaine.
kind of reminds me a little just the hard work that he puts into the gym and just kind of the style. Kind of reminds me of Hagler. Do you kind of see the resemblance?
That like blue chip.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Because Hagler never had. I mean, he had immense talent, but he wasn't physically gifted in that sense, like a Mayweather, like a Zach Judah. But there's something about him that he's just really that blue collar, hard-working American fighter. I don't know, something
Like
about
Kelly
that.
Pavlik, no?
Yeah, something like that in a
Yeah,
sense.
that's good. That's
But
good.
Yeah,
like a
same.
little angrier. Like Kelly Pavlik wasn't angry. Right? He was angry in the ring.
He kind of looks like
but-
a browner Kelly Pavlik.
Man, just
Like
like have a hat.
Taylor.
Doesn't mean I don't have a ball spot right here. I swear.
Actually, he was the talented guy.
Yeah.
He was the one with all the skills. But there's something about J-Rock I really, really like.
Everyone sees that characteristic in J-Rock.
Mhm.
That's why I'm picking him blind in that fight. I don't care how good Charlo is. I'm just emotionally attached to J-Rock. I am.
Charles very boring to me.
Oh, he's very square.
Very boring. There's nothing special about him.
He has a great trainer though.
Yeah, Ronnie Shields is
Ronnie
amazing
Shields.
trainer. Like Ronnie Shields.
We're not talking about great trainers.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the fighter. The fighter itself
Yeah, he's very
is
square. He's very ABC.
Do you guys feel that him
No.
having the twin brother helps or hurts him? I think because he's
In terms of fighting or getting girls.
no,
I think
in terms of
identity-wise.
his fighting. In terms of like, I mean, you're kind of going into this fight. I talked to a bunch of friends. Like, which one is it again? And I'm like,
I get
it's
mixed
the one
up.
that has more knockouts. You know what I mean?
It's
That's
one
how-
Miller or more.
Yeah,
better.
or yeah. or-
Don't know has more
Who is
chaos.
better?
Huh?
Who is
Jamal
better?
is the better one, right?
Yeah, I don't know. You're asking.
Exactly.
another
Jamil
thing.
Jamal,
When I talked
exactly.
to other media members too. It was like, it's the better one, and it's no one ever knows.
And now they both got
I
the
know
same
him by
set.
I know him by their records. I don't know him by their face.
Well, I knew him by haircut.
of course.
One had the fade,
The
the
one
other
that's
had the braids.
six seconds older.
But it's just going to be an amazing fight, an amazing undercard. We haven't even talked about that the media weigh-in or the weigh-in is actually going to be at the Galen Center. It's going to be open to the public. Everybody could come around. Everybody could come see the fighters.
We're giving tickets.
As he said, we're giving tickets for the
We're giving
fights.
2
Pair of
tickets.
tickets, section 110, row 7. Amazing seats. The view is great. All you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Fight Guys, our social media sites, Instagram and Twitter, at The Fight Guys _. Comment, let us know that you're watching. We're on Facebook as well. Look us up as The Fight Guys, all one word. You'll find us there. Again, just comment, let us know. We'll pick the winner on Thursday. But before we continue on with the tickets, let's just talk about what else we're getting that day. Like we said, we're getting Speedy Mares, who was in a great fight the last time out on the Berto Ortiz undercard. Bloodbath fight. The kid who actually lost to Speedy beat Nick Arce for his first loss at Fantasy Springs. Yeah. Then we have Hugo Centeno just coming back. And we have a back.
No, I don't know. I was joking.
What are you about to say?
What are you about to say?
Oh no, Speedy Mars is the only fighter I've ever seen in my life. He fights. Okay, the fight's over. It was a draw at StubHub Center.
Yes, it was
a draw. The Negro goes outside the ring, goes up to the second floor, starts taking pictures.
He didn't even change. He changed like an hour later.
Yeah.
Really?
He literally went.
Yeah, because I was in the suite next to him. You know, I was like in the suite, and had open space.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching the fights, and I'm like, this dude, just because that
He was
picture,
aware that day.
it don't correlate. It doesn't correlate. It doesn't
That shouldn't be
correlate.
happening. Yeah.
Wait. Didn't you just get out of the ring? What
He
changed?
just froze on that. And you have to post sweat.
Yeah.
He had the, like with your body count.
Yeah.
He had to post sweat on. I'm like,
Oh,
Speedy's crazy, man.
Speedy's dope though. Hey, that's a show for you fans.
Yeah,
Trust
you're
me,
right.
you'll have fun at the Gaming Center. That happens again.
Yeah, right. So.
They're showing the
Oh yes,
Joshua fight.
and they're actually showing the Joshua fight.
Oh yeah, so fans, you get there early.
Yeah, they can watch it 2:30. 2:30, the simulcast starts at the Galen Center. You can watch it outside, I believe. They're opening the doors at 3 o'clock, and the first fight's at 3:35. But I believe they're streaming the fight outside, like they did Triple G's fight in Inglewood.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so you guys, trust me, it's going to be a basically great atmosphere.
And watch it with people.
Yeah, watch it with people, man. Fights like that are always. And again, this is SoCal. We get good fights. If you guys been to the StubHub Center, if you guys been to fights at Staples Center, you guys know the atmosphere that we bring around here. You know how it is at fights, especially if it's a fight that's anticipated like this. We've had the year build up with everything that's been going on. It got postponed, it got canceled, then it got rejuvenated, then it got postponed again. So there's just so much for this fight. It's a perfect storm for everybody to come out on a chilly. It might not even be SoCal, you know what I'm saying?
So
Might be
today,
actually
but who
warm,
knows?
but just come
The beers
out.
will be cold though.
Beers will be cold. Drinks are actually pretty cheap at Galen Center. They're not.
I didn't know
as
media could
expensive.
drink.
What?
No, I just know.
I'm sorry, what?
Don't give away media members' secrets. No, but just come out, enjoy. We'll be there. We'll be able to cover that. We'll be covering that fight.
Did you guys make a prediction for Mars?
Oh yeah. If you want my prediction, I got Mars winning it by decision. He outboxes Cuellar, but it'll be close. I believe he wins it 115-113.
Oh. I heard you guys too, and it's not that you guys are more intelligent than me. It's just that,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I'm more optimistic.
But that storyline could play because why I say that is because Mars has been knocked out and he's lost his last fight. So you get kind of find a way to win, and you stay in that space and you try and find a way to win the fight. However, I just think, man, when you go into the dungeon, the dragon always wins, and I just think.
Damn, that's a good quote right there.
Yeah. like Cuellar is the dragon, you know what I mean? And I think I'll be rooting for Mares because
there's always someone out there who can slay the dragon.
Yeah, you're right. And Donito Donaire said the same thing. But
actually, he was the dragon.
Oh, he was the dragon.
He was
the dragon. Shout out Donito, you're fun.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's a great fight, by the way.
We'll see him soon.
Man, I know his family. I don't know his wife personally. I'm not sure if he's married, but I've seen his family, and I'm attached to him because he lives in LA. I've seen his checks. Like, I've literally seen Abner Mares' checks. Like, damn, they're going to deliver a check to Abner Mares.
Name dropping.
Well, 6 figures. And,
Damn.
oh, Fuck, man. Just because of what you said, I was steamrolling Abner Mares in this fight. I mean, literally steamrolling him. Like,
I think he can pick his shots, though.
I think so too, because he's a talented boxer.
Yeah.
And you know, Cuellar's only loss is by KO in like the 5th or 6th round or something like that. He felt like
It was like maybe 7 fights.
Damn.
right, yeah.
Back like 2011. Not too long ago, if you think about it.
I kind of added.
I'm gonna teach this.
because he comes like that.
I'm gonna take this like a classroom right now. Fred, do you need more time? We'll go to Steven and get his prediction.
No,
He is a southpaw.
I'll say I believe Cuellar.
Oh yeah.
I believe Cuellar should be favored. I don't know if he is in Vegas or not. But
We tried looking that up. We couldn't find
Oh,
it.
we couldn't. Okay, yeah. I feel like he should be favored to win, but as far as picking, I don't know.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Freddie put together
An amazing
perfect
game plan.
He's not athletic enough to put a game plan together, though. You know what I mean? He is who he is. You know, just get the dude in shape. Me personally, right? Get the dude in shape. Make sure his hand speed is there. Make sure he knows the combinations and his foot speed. Get them two together. Damn, you guys brought up a good point about Abner Mares literally just picking his shots, using his supreme footwork.
The Mares that fought like Anselmo Moreno and all of that.
He's just
I loved him then. I loved him when he was like the young, sexy, good-looking fighter with the abs, looked good in the cameras, looked good in the weigh-in.
I remember feeling.
I'm gonna go with Mares. But I have the right to change my mind.
Remember, you already changed your mind once right now.
You gotta remember Mars too. But back in the day, he would get dirty.
You know why?
He would get dirty on the inside.
Because the Rashanian almost knocked the dude out, knocked him down. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, against Cuellar? Yes.
Because he just stood there and took the point. I'm like, dude, you're up 5 to 6 rounds to nothing. Why are you sitting there? But he don't. That's not in his toolset.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have a hammer or he doesn't have whatever it is in his toolset.
He doesn't know how to follow up.
Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna go with Mares by the slimmest margin.
That's what I said.
But like I
115,
said,
113.
remember, Mars back in the day would get on the inside and frustrate you. He would foul you sometimes, but it would frustrate you. So there's some of those things that he's got all those little veteran moves. He's got those veteran moves, and he can really.
The girls don't like me for taking Mares.
That's what I'm talking about. He's got all these little tricks. You know, he had it when he was young. Now he's older. He's much wiser. And he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove to the world that, he wants to prove to the world that he still is one of the best.
He's worked with Garcia for a full year on this.
Yeah. So that's another thing too. Yeah.
I forgot Robert Garcia's in this corner.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be good.
You know what? We have a lot of fight week coverage to go. Again, like I said, we got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And that's this week. I gotta make a decision.
We'll get back to Fred. at that point in time. We're going to give you guys an honest pick and decision. Me and this week, Dominic and I, we're stuck on Mares. We're not changing.
No,
that.
that's I think Abner can boring this fight and win.
Honestly,
I've
never seen Abner in a boring fight.
No, but it has to be boring because the guy is a softball.
In order to be safe, he's right.
He goes right. I mean, if you're a standard boxer, you go that way.
He's gonna have to use his distance. He's gonna have to utilize that jab, use some good lateral movement. He's gonna have to get on the inside and hold, frustrate him. And I don't want to say foul him, but he's got to get a little dirty. He's got to keep doing that over and over again.
Wow. He's gonna have to put something on Cuellar to where Cuellar's like, okay, I can't go that crazy, right? You know, and
that's what, like I said, my pick is 115, 113.
And the only reason why I picked Mares, I did not pick Mares, was because he couldn't do nothing with Leo Santa Cruz. And Leo Santa Cruz,
that's a windmill though, just coming at you.
I like that pick. Oh, you guys missed it. Crawford Molina, the way it was at.
Oh,
nice.
But he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't move him. He couldn't move Leo Santa Cruz. No. And he went to game plan D in that fight. He went from the aggressor. Remember the first 2 rounds he was aggressor? Then he went to the counter punching game. And then he went to, I don't know what else he went to. Then he started speaking Mandarin. I don't know what he did. But none of his game plans worked that night. And that's why he never moved Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz momentum grew throughout that entire fight.
I think Leo had an answer for everything too. Like
100 punches are out.
Yeah.
There's something clear.
Pretty much answers almost
answers.
Okay. I need to look at them.
Like I said, we'll give Fred a little bit more time before he gets we got a long week ahead of us.
Tweet it out.
Yeah, we'll tweet it out to you.
But that's why we have these conversations, because I never would think that Abner Mares would go back to an Olympic style type of boxing at this level. You know what I mean? Just get the points and get the fuck out of it.
He has to, just to get that title.
You have to. Yeah.
as I stated, we have a very busy week coming up ahead of us, and even beyond that, we have the following week is going to be busy for us as well.
Did Steven give us his prediction?
His prediction, he's kind of like
I'm leaning more towards Cuellar if I had to pick.
By knockout?
But I see what you're.
no, I don't.
I can't see him taking a decision unless he puts down Mars like 6 times.
I can see him.
Robert will stop the fight. It's not now.
Yeah, Robert will stop the fight. Robert's.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's possible Mars gets caught. That's possible. At one of those.
I don't want to see him get knocked out.
Neither do I.
Jesus, no. That would hurt me if he got knocked out.
When I saw Khan get knocked out, man. And
You're a Khan
without-
fan?
What's that?
You're a Khan fan?
Khan is
I talked to Khan, yeah.
Khan is
Amir
a
Khan?
homeboy, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look disgusted that way. Like, you talk to him? Oh, wow. It's another conversation for another day, I guess, right?
It's
like a
just
lie.
changed.
Say someone like, wait, why do you
The
talk
whole momentum just completely changed.
I mean, I guess.
All right,
I've only interviewed him, you know, during fight week. I don't have no relationship with Khan, but
Nah, he's cool.
Khan's a cool guy. I've interviewed him a few times.
you know, he's Hollywood. To me, he's Hollywood. You know, take fights to build your career up.
Yeah,
You know?
he missed a lot of good fights.
Stop fucking chasing your shadow in a rabbit. You know, like build your career up to your 44-3 now. You know what I mean? Do the right thing. You know, get your money. It's so much money in his region, and he's not monopolizing that. Like a Chinese fighter. If we had an American China, like they have that I don't know, but yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that some
Yeah,
other
okay,
time.
that's
We'll talk about that.
Can you close this segment, please?
Before we get completely
Are you
off
sure
topic
about
and
Mars?
go everywhere, he'll change his mind 5 minutes after we cut the tape. Trust me, I know him. But as we stated, we have a busy week coming up. We'll have a lot of coverage for you guys. We'll speak with the trainers. We'll speak with the fighters. And we'll speak with everybody and anybody. Just look out for us at the Gaming Center on Fight Week. Also, again, just subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, at the Fight Guys _ for Twitter and Instagram, or just the Fight Guys on Facebook and YouTube. We'll give you guys a winner for the ticket giveaway that on Thursday. And again, just look for us during Fight Week. We'll be there. Say what's up to us. Let us know you guys are watching, what you guys like, what you think we should do better, and just help us out to give you guys better content as well. For the Fight Guys, I am Fernando Pimentel of BehindTheGloves.com.
Steven Coreno, KO Artist Sports on YouTube.
And Frederick Hawthorne, a.k.a. Amir Khan's best friend from Barbershop Conversation.
Dominic Verdine of BringTVPizza.com and IFL TV over in the UK.
And again, we'll just see you guys at the fights.
Recorded?
Yeah, it recorded.
All right, one last one.
All right.
One last one.
What's the last one?
Let's see. I want to make sure. Let me give you my other memory. Should I give you that memory card or do you think it's fine?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Michelle's mailed me your blue memory card. I'll
Dope.
give it to you 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's fine. That works.
Shut up.
Michelle, is it because she owes me a memory card?
Okay. Aren't you in London, huh?
She's in little London town.
What do you have there for her now?
For next week, 5 week. All right, let's get this last one.
Oh, yeah, it's next week.
Let's get this last one in.
Hold on.
I am.
Oh, next week? Oh, man,
I cover every major fight live from my computer desk.
Wait, what do we have this week coming up? Final press conference?
Final press conference Thursday. Wednesday, the media roundtable with the trainers. And
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
yep. I cover all major events live from my computer desk.
Who's that?
No, that's just me poking. Don't worry about
All right. Oh, you have the fights. Never mind.
it. We're not going to talk about Garcia.
Sure.
I don't even think Mother Russia wants to talk about Mother Russia.
You should stop fighting, huh?
That was busy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, can we just do this final segment? Because
Yeah, monster.
go.
Nah. I'll wait.
On situation.
Let's go.
Thank you. No, for real. On situation.
Okay.
Oh, are you going to put in another chip to make sure that
I think he said it's fine.
it's fine, Fred? You sure?
Yeah, this one has more memory, so yeah, than the blue one.
What are we talking about this one?
Okay, this one, basically, I'm going to go give my opinion on something, and I'm going to get your thoughts about it. Basically, what it is boxing fans are fickle right now,
You
right?
ready?
No, he wants to change the memory card.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Oh, it's
I
fine.
said no,
Oh, okay.
because the blue one has less, so that one's good. We should be
You
fine.
don't have to lighten it up when you record it. It's getting hard.
All right, just light it up. Let's go.
I'm ready for Brett.
Yeah, let's go.
Sit down, boy.
It's live. We good.
All right, we go. All right. Fernando Pimentel for the Fight Guys here. Also, BehindTheGloves.com. Just got something to ask you guys, and it's something that's kind of bothered me, and kind of like, especially this year. We haven't really gotten the fights that we wanted to get. And in boxing, it's always the best fighting the best, right? We've got two examples of that this year. We had the two best 140-pounders fighting one another. Victor Postol versus Terrence Crawford. Fans demanded that fight. They got that fight. They wanted Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev. They demanded that fight. We got that fight. Yet, when it came to that, when it came to finally putting their money where their mouth is, because that's what the fight fans wanted, they didn't put their money where their mouth is. The pay-per-view sales for both fights combined is somewhere under 225,000 pay-per-views sold. Mind you, Manny Pacquiao versus Vargas sold about 300. Canelo versus Liam Smith sold a little over 300. And those weren't fights we were asking for. Those were not fights we were asking for, and they outsold the two fights that we wanted. Why are boxing fans so fickle? Why do they demand something, but yet when they receive it and get it, they don't back it up or they don't support it? Why do you guys think that, Steven?
I don't know. I mean, I feel at least for sure in the case, I can't remember Postol Crawford's undercard.
Oscar Valdez was on it.
Oh, that's right. He beat the Argentinian guy,
yes,
right?
he beat the Argentinian guy.
For his title,
Yeah, for his title.
Second round knockout.
Was Zurdo on that one too? Or
I believe Zurdo was supposed to be on there, but got his hand injured for that
Right.
fight. Yeah.
I remember. Okay, now I remember that card.
So Oscar Valdez definitely is a great fighter. He's on the undercard just because he's coming up right now. He probably pretty soon shouldn't be on undercards anymore.
He was on the undercard this year for three major pay-per-views: Bradley, Pacquiao, Postol, Crawford, and Pacquiao.
I think the world Oscar.
Yeah,
I think he should be main eventing already. But the fact that he was on that undercard is good. I can't remember the other two fights on that undercard of Crawford. Crawford Postol. For sure, the fight that just happened 3 weeks ago, Andre Ward versus Kovalev. I mean, I'd like to forget the fights that were on the undercard. Like, I feel like the undercard is a big deal.
Try to remember.
Yeah,
I can't.
I did try to remember.
I mean, it's just, and when we live, I think boxing needs to realize we live in a world of UFC now.
Yeah, and they have great
and
undercards.
UFC has great undercards. Like, and even so, the UFC that was 2 weeks or no, a week before Kovalev Ward, there were at least 4 fights on that undercard alone that could have main evented like a FS1 card or something like that on their own. But you're talking about all those fights all on one card, and even one fight got scrapped. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
UFC, but yeah, one fight got scrapped the day before, which was a really good matchup also.
Cowboy Cerrone, right?
Yeah,
Cerrone
Cerrone was
fight,
supposed to fight Gastelum. I mean, it's when you're dealing with that, you need to make it. People are coming out of pocket, $60, $70 for a UFC that has 5 main events on it, and you're putting on a boxing event for the same amount of money the week after with literally one main event, the only main event. I mean, people I think are putting their money where their mouth is at, and it's hard. It's hard to do that. I think, yeah, of course the matchups are great. Like the matchups are exactly what you said. They're exactly what we wanted. They're the best fighting the best. But it's when you, especially just this past November, I think when you're going against the UFC on the same month, unfortunately Pacquiao as well. Like kind of what you said, Pacquiao and Canelo had big numbers. So look what we're talking about. We're talking about like 2 of 4 or 5 mainstream stars that boxing has. So I mean, once you build the star into it, I think then you could put them against, like a Liam Smith, and it'll sell decently. But I think the undercards is a big problem, especially when you're dealing with UFC who puts on 4 or 5 main events in one pay-per-view, and so I think that's a big issue.
Fred,
when you said Canelo did 300,000, I couldn't.
A little over
300,000. I couldn't help but equate that. I don't know. I was thinking about the demographic, like not Doug Fisher's demographic, but like actual, yeah, that guy too. Anyways, so
boy,
it's your boy.
It's your boy.
It's the Rock.
It's the Rock. What we
It's
talking
like
about?
the
again?
demographic of Canelo.
Yeah, we was talking about Mount Everest, right? You know, I was thinking about the demographic, like from 24 to like 39, right? Like, what would you want? Would you want if you had to poll this demographic? Do you want a dime, a woman dime with perfect ass and big tits with a perfect face, or do you want the 7 that's gonna take care of you forever? Canelo is the perfect woman, and like Terrence Crawford is the 7 that'll take care of you forever. You know, and boxing fans. You know, if you lose one fight in boxing, they throw you. You're a bum. Sean Porter is, no lie, Sean Porter is a top 4 welterweight.
Yeah.
Top 4, top 5. And people consider he lost twice.
Yes.
Very close. Very close fights.
Yes.
I like
Dude can fight his ass off. You know what I mean? And
look who where there were 2. There were 2.
Kell
Maybe the
Brook
best welterweight.
and Keith Thurman.
Keith Thurman.
So
And both fights were close.
yeah, and you know, it's not about money. You know why I believe it's not about money? Because they paid for Canelo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck is Beefy Smith? I'm watching the fight like,
And let's
I
remember the undercard of that pay-per-view, and then let's forget it again.
yeah.
Because it was, I can't even remember, but I remember
Diego
the comment.
every round.
Diego De La Hoya,
We
Joseph
talked about it in
Diaz,
our first
And
fight, guys.
Rocky guy, what's his name?
and Gabriel was out
Gabriel
versus
was out.
William Monroe.
William Monroe.
That was the co-main event, and they paid for that $325,000. But when again, Canelo versus somebody you didn't want to see him fight. We get the 2 fights that people want, but they don't back it up.
See, the problem is, though, why I think pay-per-view numbers kind of, you know, they dip between, like, superstars and quality fights is because you got fans who are Pacquiao fans. Not boxing fans, Pacquiao fans.
That's true.
Okay.
You got
Mhm.
Canelo fans. I don't know how many people I've met that are like, oh, I love Canelo. I love Canelo. Oh, and I'll mention another fight. Oh, you should watch this fight. It's going to be a good one. Who?
right.
I just know Canelo. Oh, can you introduce me to Canelo?
Oh, girls love Canelo. Like they
Hey,
like.
just even guys, they just like Canelo. And they're
They
like,
can
can I
introduce you
introduce
to
you?
America
Can you
Canelo.
introduce me to Canelo, please? I'm like, do you even like boxing? No, I just like Canelo. That's it.
Mhm.
And the problem is, with today, you got Facebook Live. So no one's going to go to buy a pay-per-view. Someone's going to stream it for you.
Yeah.
You can watch it on Facebook Live, Periscope. You have a bunch of streaming sites that you can watch the fight. I mean, you got to realize a lot of people, like you said, aren't going to be able to shell out $65, $70. If you can find a site to watch it for free, most people are going to go that route. It's unfortunate. And I saw a lot of people on Facebook watching a shitload of fights.
Yeah.
And once they got cut off, they find another site. They find another stream. So with that being said, I mean, it really hurts the industry. It really hurts the pay-per-view numbers. And with UFC coming on, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, I found myself liking, I found myself liking the UFC fight or the entire card, which I'm not the biggest UFC or MMA fan, but I ended up liking it so much more than watching Danny Garcia.
Yeah, because
You know?
was on versus Vargas that year.
And some of the guys, I did recognize some of their names, and I was like, oh man, they're fighting each other. Okay, this looks like a good matchup. And there were tons. Boxing will forever be my first love, but guess what? Shitty on their cards. We allow some of these too many fights to be marinated for years and years. We've been talking about Kovalev Ward for the last 2 years. We talked about Mayweather Pacquiao for the last 5 years. I mean, I can go on and on. There's just too many fights. Canelo Triple G. That's another one. I'm not even sure if it's going to happen in 2017. I highly doubt it. They're going to come up with some other reason, and it's going to be pushed to 2018. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to lose more boxing fans. Now, boxing will never die, in my mind. It will never die. But guess what? It's going to get less popular. It's not going to be as it's just, unfortunately, fights need to get made sooner than later.
Are we going to go back to the days back in the 90s where, you remember, De La Hoya versus Trinidad did $1.25 million, and that was the end-all, be-all? You know, are we going to get back to the days where those are the numbers we should expect on major fights, on big fights, and not the astronomical numbers that Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao put out?
I was just going to bring that up. I think people, boxing pay-per-view wise, are still kind of reeling from that. I think it's, you know, we wanted it for 6-7 years. It finally happened, this huge build-up. And then, you know, casual boxing fans didn't see like Rocky. You know what I mean? They didn't see like, you know, the fight of the year fight. Mm. You know, the fight to most casual fans was, you know, a lot of holding. It just wasn't, you know, it just wasn't aesthetically pleasing. So they're like, and on top of that, you paid $100 for that or $110 for that. So you're like, I waited all this time to watch a good boxing match. I remember celebrities talking about it, and we all know as boxing fans who've never seen like a boxing match before other than Rocky, right? And it's like, yeah, like I want to see, you know, like Floyd knock him down and Pacquiao get up and knock him down. And I was like, you have no idea what you're gonna
Yeah, you have no idea what you're
you have
talking
no
about.
idea what you're about to watch. Like, and
You'd be lucky to get a picture with Floyd.
right, yeah.
You
You know, but then, you know, so these are the people that are like, oh yeah, there's a big boxing fight, cool, I want to watch it. And when they don't see someone almost take someone else's head off, it's like, why did I pay so much money for this?
Yeah.
You know, and I think, I mean, so because on top of that, the fight, you know, wasn't that great, and people paid so much money for it and waited so long for it and all that, I think boxing pay-per-views are probably going to hurt a little bit until I really actually think Canelo Triple G can save that for sure. Because not only is that a fight that has the name recognition, but it's a fight on paper that I think we would all agree is going to be like a good style matchup. Like these guys are, I don't think we're going to have to worry about a lot of holding. I think we're going to worry about.
But I think the biggest problem with Frederick mentioned was that in boxing, one loss can hurt you. And I think Golden Boy is so concerned about Canelo suffering a second loss. And that shouldn't be the problem. The guy should just be a superstar because he puts together great fights. And he's a very talented fighter. Unfortunately, you have one or two losses, you're no longer a great fighter. You're no longer that good. You're not one of the best fighters in your division or even in boxing. In MMA, you can have a record of 18 wins against 9 losses and you're a fucking legend. Guess why? Guess why? Because they fight the fucking best.
You're right.
They fight the best. There's so many ways to win and lose. I get that. And in boxing, fans are unforgiving.
That's what I'm saying. They're
You
just
know
fickle.
what? Well, kind of on that point as well, though, we've all seen it before, where a fighter takes a loss, like a bad loss, and gets beat up,
Yeah.
and that fighter is not the same anymore. So I think we do kind of have to, especially when we're talking about Triple G, the loss could be like that. You know,
Oh, yeah.
especially as tough as Canelo is and all that. I mean, if he were to lose and lose badly like that against Triple G, we might not see Canelo the same again.
No, I get
so
that.
I see where you're cautious to a point.
But then he
it
should
also
just
is
remain-
boxing as well. So you are.
And he should just remain at 154.
Right. No, it is
And
boxing as
never
well. So
say-
you got, you know, like
never say you're gonna be a middleweight.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate, but hey, you know what? This is boxing. If you're gonna fight in the middleweight division, you gotta fight the best. If you're the best at 154 and you choose to move up in weight, you have to fight the best. You have to fight the best guy.
Now let me ask you this, Fred, because you're pretty close with this and everything. Do you think the PBC mode kind of messed up pay-per-view as well, considering that they've given fights live? You know, Adrian Broner versus Sean Porter was network television. Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman was network television. Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, network television. We're getting, again, Maris Cuellar, J-Rock, and Charlo all on the same card, Showtime. But we're not having to pay for that. We're getting Frampton, Santa Cruz 2 with Mikey Garcia and Dijon as the co-main event. Showtime. You know, we're getting a lot of these fights not pay-per-view that should be pay-per-view. Do you think that kind of messes up the mold as well on pay-per-view?
I wouldn't say mess it up. I say probably make more boxing more accessible.
Yeah.
You know, like they had Tuesday night fights, Friday night fights, Saturday night fights.
Thursday.
Errol Spence fought on a Sunday after
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Olympics.
yeah.
So, you know, it became like a season, like an NBA season or a Major League Baseball season. So I just think a boxer has to dare to be bigger than boxing. Conor McGregor did it.
Yeah.
You know, Ronda Rousey did it, you know, and I'm a boxing reporter talking about the best combat fighters in the game, which are Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey. You know what I mean? So
Look how anticipated her return is after a loss.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
So someone got to dare to be different. Like Terrence Crawford needs to get out of his own way.
I honestly want to say the same thing with Andre Ward.
Yeah, true.
I love Andre Ward. I love Andre Ward. Andre Ward is great, but you know, he needs to, or not even Andre Ward, have Virgil speak more, or even then have your promotional company like Jay-Z tweet something out or something. Somebody needs to take
that is an unused resource for
yeah,
Why-
for
why
Rock
is
Nation.
Jay-Z
Yes,
just not?
yeah, like that is a very
I don't get that. He
If
doesn't
Jay-Z
do
would have
anything about it.
tweeted out something
He's
about
at
the
press
fight,
conferences,
it would have
nothing.
been like, holy crap, Jay-Z's talking about, okay, we need to watch this fight. Like, look at what they did for Miguel Cotto, and they put on a concert, and he was there. They put on a concert with
we see
And Kathy Duva told us they wanted to put a counter on for this one, for Ward Kovalev, and they kind of nixed that. But come on, if that nixed that, at least do some promotional work, Jay.
Yeah.
You know, somebody needs to, or Beyonce tweets something out. Hey, you know what? We're going to the fight. We're going to do this. We're going to see that. Somebody. It's Rock Nation, you know. Rock Nation Sports. Again, like you said, he was there from Miguel Cotto. Why couldn't he do that for Andre Ward?
This was such this was like a layup.
Oh yeah,
a white corn-fed Russian against a quote-unquote single-parent black kid from urban America. It was
perfect storm.
Perfect storm. What did we talk about? SOG. What they say about Kovalev? I don't know what Kovalev. I tune out Kovalev, but
Crusher.
Yeah, but he's just, I fucking hate him, man. But it's just like what. It was like the perfect storm.
Like best fighting the best.
Like how they're doing Brandon Rios and you see the flyer for that?
Yes.
Bad blood. Do what you want in the press conference. Who cares?
Is 2 months away.
D-level fighters.
I'll say C. But
D.
And we're gonna have Brandon Rios on. So here. No. But it's 2 months away. It's 2 months away.
Brandon gonna want to fuck me up.
And he probably would.
Yeah.
I'll let Ricky film it too.
I might hit him with a body shot. I'm black and bald. I can hit him with a body shot.
But you have that coming up, and it is so highly anticipated. And I guarantee you, and it's sad that I'm about to say this, that fight will more than likely outsell ticket-wise what Kovalev Ward did.
I can't wait to put a camera in Brandon Rios and or Victor Ortiz.
Oh yeah,
not because of how mediocre I believe they are in the ring. And then this is not a slight. I mean, let's just be candid on. They've lost along the way, so they have to be placed in that category. They're C-level fighters. I just upgraded them to C. I won that. But I just want to put a camera.
One more time to think about it.
No time to think about it. But put a camera in their face and go.
Yeah.
You realize, like, I think about going to that press conference, and I'm literally already just like, as soon as I walk in, I'm gonna press record. You know what I mean? It's just like, as soon as one of them walks in, it's like, you know what I mean?
For you and anybody
that should be this fight,
and for anybody to say that this fight is so fighters out of their time that just need to retire or something. I knew this. Ward Gotti, when they started their trilogy, they were close to the end.
Oh yeah.
So this has that perfect mixture.
Well, if Victor Ortiz comes with a fight plan and not an escape route.
No. I don't even think a fight plan. Just the fire.
If Victor Ortiz can win this fight, then possibly we can see a rematch. If he loses again, no one wants to see him in a rematch.
Honestly, no. It depends on how he loses.
No, people would love to see him get his ass beat again.
Hey, man, I know people that want to throw pizza boxes on him again. I know people that want to throw pizza boxes on him again.
Oh,
we know that.
That was so horrible.
I know. Fans don't do that to fighters. Don't ever do that to fighters.
Cool.
Do it to reporters.
If you're a fan of a fighter and he loses, if you're not a fan of that fighter and he loses, don't do that. That is so disrespectful. They're putting their lives on the line for you guys to be entertained. That's not even cool. That is not even cool. And you know, Ortiz, as much as you may hate him, you love to watch him. You want to see him get his butt kicked once in a while.
He's a good guy, though.
He is a good guy.
I felt disgusting as a boxer.
He's cool.
Yeah, when I had him,
Brandon's
I was
a funny
dude. Brandon's awesome.
Yeah, Brandon does a great interview. You know, Brandon got to start taking care of himself, though. Because, you know, I see him in between fights. He looks like he's at 165, 170.
Oh, no, he's being honest. Yeah, he's good right now.
He's being honest.
Oh, with Ricky, he's doing great.
Oh, is
Ricky, yeah. Well, trust me, we'll see.
That's what derailed him.
That's
what derailed him. I thought because he was one of them fighters that could have fucking put Mexico on his back.
Oh my God.
Not because he's a great fighter, but because he gives everything.
Yeah.
And if he would have been more disciplined outside the ring, he could have been.
Robert said it.
Rock star.
Robert said it on camera. He told me that there was just too much history. They were friends more than a trainer and a fighter. So it was probably best for Brandon to find discipline somewhere else because they used to joke around like buddies.
They still talk.
But you know, Robert said it. He was like, it just wasn't working because we're like brothers. You know, with Mikey, it's a little different. Mikey's just disciplined on his own.
Yeah, Mikey.
He doesn't need to. No one needs to tell him what to do. But with Brandon, you know, he just needed to find help somewhere else. And with Ricky, goddamn, he's got him in shape.
He got
I hope so.
shape. No, he does. He has him in shape. There is no off season with those guys.
You know, I wouldn't fuck with Ricky. Ricky would fuck a motherfucker up. You
guys might look at that box record of his and everything and say he a bum. He will kick your ass.
No, but just his demeanor. Just his demeanor.
Yeah.
His demeanor is the shit. Like,
Hey,
I wouldn't
trains
fuck with
Justin Bieber too.
oh, he does say.
Yeah, he trains a lot of stars actually.
Yeah.
But he knows his
He knows
boxing.
his
dude.
boxing. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what to do.
He was saying-
And he finally
Surprisingly-
got a primetime fighter.
I was gonna say it surprised me when I saw that in an interview the other day. He was like, "Yeah, this is my first fight with this is my first big fight." No shit.
Yeah, but
Like,
he's been
like
training.
on his own.
Yeah.
He's been co-training.
Yeah, he's been co-training
Because
with Joe.
that
Yeah.
is the guy that died. Dan, right?
Yeah.
The
He did a
promoter,
lot
yeah.
of promoting. He did a lot of work with Joe.
Joe.
He did a lot of
on the
work
side.
with
The side under Joe. Yeah.
He was in the corner of
Quadras.
Corrales.
That's why he's been in a lot of fights.
Yeah.
He was always like the second assistant.
Right. Yeah.
But with that being said, he learned so much. I mean, he was like a sponge, just absorbing so much information and just learning how to be the great trainer that he's probably gonna become. I mean, dude, he's been around so many great trainers, so many great fighters. I mean, to be that second assistant, shit.
Let's get back to the topic that we were talking about. And what do you think it's boxing that needs to change when it comes to the undercard to give us more, or do you think?
Uh-oh.
Oh, what?
Finished? Yeah.
Whatever, we're done.
Cards full.
Yeah,
Come on.
cards full.
Oh, we're still
Yeah,
live.
Yeah, we're still live.
live.
Let's wrap it up live.
Okay.
Yeah, but what do you guys think boxing needs to do? Do you think they need to produce better undercards? Because again, I was in love with that Pacquiao Vargas undercard.
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah. So what do you think boxing just needs to do to gather more fans? And
I think Fred said it and just what you mentioned also, like Canelo and Pacquiao, like we need stars. And so kind of what he was saying about Terrence Crawford, he needs to get out of his own way because he is a great fighter. People would pay to watch Terrence Crawford fight, but you have to have the build up. And his story's great too, like the fact that he got shot.
Oh, that's right.
So, like,
where he
got
came
shot.
up, Terrence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like all that.
Where
Like,
he came up from,
Yeah, with, like,
his
all that,
upbringing.
he makes sure to fight in
But that's why I love
Nebraska.
Carissa Shields.
Yeah. It's the same way pretty much Ward came up, just besides not getting shot.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah. But it's an amazing story, and if he would, we're more
Open
like,
up.
let me talk about it. Let me, all that. Like people would just be like, oh crap, like I want to watch this dude fight.
Oh, besides all of that, we still. I'm gonna just be point blank. We still have Bob Arum promoting fights, Kathy Duber promoting fights, Don King promoting fights.
Yes.
Yeah. He has Amir Aman. Yeah.
Oh, he does.
He still has the heavyweight that's fighting in a couple of weeks.
Stavern.
Yeah.
Is Amir coming back?
Amir Aman.
he's fighting in the East.
He got knocked out, right?
He's been fighting in the East.
Oh, yeah,
He's been fighting in the East.
Brothers fighting.
But continue.
Yeah. They're still promoting fights, the old guard. So when you got the old guard who believes, oh, we need to talk to these I write for a newspaper. You need to talk to the newspaper guys. By the time it hits the newspaper, they already got the information. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like they're not contemporary enough to know how to promote a fight. You need to get to these Instagram girls. Instead of having ring girls, you got Instagram girls. You know what I mean? Like you got to be creative. You know what I mean? You got to stay attached to the post, and the post is. You know what I mean? Like they just Top Ranking them just started streaming weigh-ins and all of that.
And fights
and undercard fights.
Golden Boy, they picked it up real quick.
Yeah.
They've been doing real good with that.
Mhm.
I'll give them credit for that. They've done awesome with that one.
So and just to give you my final example, how the fuck you give away the golden ticket, Bob Arum? The biggest selling point from what I believe from talking about Bob Arum and Floyd Mayweather was Bob Arum didn't understand the hip hop culture. He goes to, not only does Floyd Mayweather go to Al Heyman and gets to promote himself the way he promotes himself, but Floyd Mayweather brings Lil Wayne to Al Heyman to do concerts, to rap concerts. So that's just it's just you just got to understand these guys.
Wasn't Bob trying to tap into that when he was promoting Mayweather and putting the Judah fight together?
Oh, probably.
He tried.
Yeah.
I got to see that. He had no choice.
Remember, Judah lost to Carlos
Baltimore.
and then they still made the fight.
Yeah.
I remember I want to say it was that fight week leading up to the Judah thing. Bob still had Floyd do like a McDonald's thing or something.
Speaking of Canelo,
And my boy Mosley.
Oh, there goes Mosley, our homeboy, who we need to get in contact with.
Yeah.
We need to get in contact with Mosley.
Yeah, no, you can't just do it the same way, Leonard was done back in the day and all that. Like, and I think Golden Boy's kind of trying to do that with their guys, and their new kid, Ryan Garcia.
Oh, he's gonna be.
From the Golden Boy.
Yeah,
Golden Boy.
has a lot of personality,
just signed.
and I hope that they let him
like
do his thing and be how he wants to be, because he has a lot of personality. And sometimes I feel like he doesn't want to be PC, and they should not make him be PC.
They should just let him go.
Yeah, they should just let him do his thing.
Yeah.
Don, what do you think? What do fans, or what does boxing need to do to win back the fans and get them to put their money where their mouth is? You know, they're asking for these big fights, but they don't shell out the money to do it. What do you think boxing needs to do to bring them back to do that?
I mean, it's simple, man. Fighters just need to step up and just sign those contracts and get inside that ring and put up a good fight. Plain and simple. There's not much more that we can ask for, or what can we do to change it? Fighters just simply need to tell their promoters and managers, hey, this is the fight I want. Need to get, sign that contract and get inside that ring. There's not much more that I can think of that we can make boxing much better. All I can say is that we want to see great fights, and we want to see them now. I don't want to see them 2 years from now. I understand a fight needs to marinate. It needs to be built up, but there's just so much that we've lost over the years that boxing's just losing their fans. It's sad, man.
That's what Fred said, actually. That's how it used to be done before, but just like you said, old promoters are going with like newspaper and stuff. Now people want it now, just like the UFC. You're the best. You're the best. You guys fight each other next.
And the UFC card every 2 weeks stays pretty current. You know what I mean? And it's like Saturday night. Remember when we were kids, we used to watch Saturday night main events wrestling.
Yep.
That's what UFC feels like to me, like Saturday night main events. Like you get like the best 5 fights you could possibly make at that time.
Like, Hulk Hogan is wrestling the Ultimate Warrior every Saturday night.
Paul Orndorff, but get your history right.
And then fans don't get excited when like Kovalev is going to fight Shalimba, and then the following week it's going to be Andre Ward versus Brandt, and they were waiting for that build-up. It's like, I don't want to see that shit. No offense to Shalimba, because he's not that bad.
He just lost again.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
With Roy Jones in his corner.
But we want to see good fights. Boxing fans are just going to get fed up.
I will say, I think Kovalev Ward, the second time around,
will do better.
I think it'll do a lot better.
I think it'll do a lot better. And
Well, got a lot of PR around.
Yeah. And
Andre was on TMZ.
Yeah. The controversy itself, the fight itself, it will do much better the second time around. Hopefully they put a better undercard. I don't care. I don't care if the undercard is the first 2 fights we got on that pay-per-view again. I just hope we get a good co-main event.
You got to realize you have Rock Nation and main events. Who do they have? So it's not going to
they
be very
could
strong
outsource.
undercard.
They should outsource.
Well, we'll see if they do.
Because, hey, Tom Lawler outsourced Chuck.
I remember that. Yeah,
we'll see how it works.
That's true. Yeah.
I hope so.
Look, we will continue to speak about this. We'll continue to talk about this. It'll be a debate that'll always happen. The only reason why is because obviously we want more of boxing, but at the same time, we want the boxing. What they want is the fans to live up to what they're asking for. If you want it, get it when they're giving it to you. You want Triple G versus Canelo now? Okay. If you get it now, are you willing to shell out the money for it? If you see the undercard is terrible, are you going to stream it? Just shell out what you got to shell out.
Next Canelo fight.
Exactly.
Exactly. I don't want you to. I'm just saying, like, put your money where your mouth is.
But that's pretty much it. To me, it's just put your money where your mouth is as a boxing fan.
CLM, Canelo Lives Matter.
I'm down with that. I can see like a parade of redheads. I'm down with it. Oh man, but
Canelo's gonna fight McGregor once. It's gonna happen.
Oh God, I hope it doesn't.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah.
No, really.
He's trying to keep it straight.
No, I legit.
No, the Oscar. Yeah, Oscar was at it. Oscar was rampant on that video. You ain't seen it?
No.
The Oscar Canelo could beat Conor McGregor's ass video. Like straight up, that's the quote.
When that happened?
I think like last night, TMZ Live got it. I think. Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya said that.
Oscar De La Hoya after the last one.
Wait, in a boxer?
Oh, yeah, well,
See that if I don't believe it, but if that actually does, if Oscar's being real, that's another way to just get out of the.
Well, look this way though. Conor does fight at 155.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's Canelo weight. That's Canelo weight. We can do that. So what are we watching now?
And I heard Conor. I think he was talking last night during the day in Belfast. But
To quote him, who the fuck is that guy?
He's about Paul
Paulie
Malignaggi.
Malignaggi.
I can't wait to interview Paulie.
Paulie's
Someone's
gonna
gonna beat
walk
me
on
to
it,
it though. Yeah.
but he said something about
Canelo would annihilate.
no, but
Yeah,
Conor said he's like, I don't have to wait for Floyd. He's like, I'm looking at some other opponents, like past Floyd opponents that I could possibly fight.
Well, he did get his license in California, so he can fight Canelo here in Cali.
There you go.
They'll fill up the StubHub, and I'm not talking about the little tennis court. I'm talking about the soccer field.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they will fill that up.
Oh, for sure.
That's crazy.
All right, guys. If you guys have any topics you guys want us to talk about, just comment about it. Let us know when you see us. Let us know, hey, talk about this. We want to hear about this. Your thoughts on that. We'll do whatever you guys want when it comes to topics that we feel that
As it relates to boxing.
as it relates to boxing and everything. We may talk some UFC here and there because KOR is here, covers MMA. I love the UFC. I love just watching MMA fights. Dominic's kind of building up onto that. Fred, as you heard, he liked Tyrone Woodley versus Wonder Boy, which was an awesome fight. So, we're building up to that. We'll talk more about that. Right now, it's just more strictly boxing and everything. But just let us know what you guys want us to talk about. We'll talk about it. And if we have something to get off our chest, like I did this time, we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
So the fight, guys, and we'll see you guys at the fights. All right, I got to roll.
You got to interview Tyrone, Fred.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
How often does he come down? Where's he train
works for
at?
Eric Brown.